there. I've lived that life of, oh my God, I know you got it in you. I know you got it in you. It doesn't matter that I know or I can feel it or I want it. If they don't want it for themselves, there's nothing that you can do. Again, my father used to tell me, you can't save people. You can give them the boat. You can lead them to water. You can't make them drink. But most important thing he ever told me is what you see as the bottom, some people see as a fun place. It's where they want to be. They're comfortable there. You can't make a person move. You know what I'm saying? You can just show them better. You can say, hey, look at this option A, look at this option B. But if they're happy where they are and they don't have any intentions to move, all it's going to do is destroy your peace in the end. So remember that when you're trying to tap into somebody else's potential. We spoke on history. We spoke on potential. Now we're going to speak on loneliness. Some people stay in a relationship because they don't want to be alone. Now, a while back, I had someone ask me, or I asked someone, I said, they were going through a relationship issue. And it was bad. Like, it was spiraling. It was bad. And I said, Why are you there? And she said, What do you mean? Why would I go anywhere? I mean, don't nobody want to be lonely. So when she said that, I kind of was like, what? You're staying in this toxic relationship because you don't want to be lonely? And she was like, not lonely, but I don't want to be alone. I said, well, you have me, you have friends, you have family. Doesn't make sense. So it led me to think of this question. Are you with someone because you don't want to be alone or lonely? But when you think about it in retrospective, if that relationship is toxic, y'all lack communication, y'all just there to be there, just to say that you have someone, technically, aren't you still alone? Aren't you still lonely? Because if the relationship doesn't have anything, it doesn't have any sustenance, it doesn't do anything for you, doesn't create a spark, you don't feel at peace, you're battling with your own self, and you can't talk to this person because technically at this point you probably don't even like this person. Aren't you alone? Aren't you still lonely because they're not giving you compassion, they're not giving you intimacy, they're not giving you commitment? Aren't you lonely? So again, I had to ask her, what is making you stay? Because if you're in a bad relationship, whether it's a friend who is a toxic relationship, it could be a friendship, it could be a family member, it could be a significant other, it could be anything. But if you're just with them because you want to be a part of something or you don't want to be lonely, ask yourself, are you truly not alone? Are you truly not lonely? Because you can't depend on that person. That person is not having an emotional attachment to you or nor you to them. So you're still lonely. Self-love is the best love. It'll set you free, but it will open your eyes and your heart to so much more. Again, history, potential, being alone or being lonely. Also, to try to fill a void. When you lose someone, it could be a family member, it could be somebody that you really, really loved and you really, really care for. We are left with a void, regardless of how you might understand death or you may understand situations. You could be very understanding. However, when you lose someone that you truly care about, that you truly love, it creates a void. And then sometimes we go looking for things to fill that void. And those things may not be healthy for us because we form an immature attachment to it. Like, it's not like, oh, I love you because you have a great personality, because you're a beautiful person inside and out. It's more so, I was going through something. I was in a dark place and I latched on to you as a lifesaver. You pulled me out of that dark place, so now I owe you. I'm obligated to you. I feel like I have to be there for you regardless of what, because you helped fill that void. And then I ask this question: is the void truly filled? Because that person is still gone. You just found a distraction, something to distract you from grieving properly. Because the hurt is there, but because you latched on to somebody else, you never properly grieved for that person. Or you never properly got your closure from that situation. So technically, the void is still there. You just put a band-aid over a bullet wound, praying that it won't leak through. Check your chest. You're still bleeding. Heal yourself. Heal your mind. Heal your peace. Before you try to walk into another situation, because it won't work. It's a band-aid. It'll take this thing off. It won't bleed as profusely. You won't be, feel like you're dying. But in the end, it's still a bullet wound. You still have to triage it. It still has to be removed. You still need stitches. It still needs to heal. That's life. Nobody can fill a void. You have to find your own closure. You have to find your own peace with the situation. And then move on. Excuse me. So, you spoke on history. You spoke on peace or potential. We spoke on being alone and being lonely. And then we spoke on filling a void. Once you learn to love who you are, once you be able to look at your relationships, and that's my life exercise for you guys this week. Look at the relationship that you're in, whether it's your best friend, your boyfriend, your cousin Pete. Look at them and see, do they fit in these categories, or am I trying to be with somebody because of their potential? Am I afraid of being alone and being lonely? Am I trying to fill a void? Is it because I've known them 20 plus years and we got history? Make sure your reasoning does not fall into these categories, because these categories will create a toxicity in your life. It'll spill in every area of your life. Your work, personal, your spiritual, mental, every area of your life will be impacted because you're in a toxic situation and it's time to move on. I won't tell you it'll be easy, because it won't. I won't tell you won't hurt, because it will. But I will tell you, when you learn to love who you are for what you are and accept who you are, you'll become an unstoppable force. You will attract like-minded people. You will attract people who will enhance your peace instead of destroying it. You won't feel alone or lonely. You will heal that void and move on and make peace with it. History will be that history, because you'll be living in the present. And I can't do it for you. Your mom can't do it for you. Your dad can't do it for you. God can't do it for you. That's why He gave you free will. You have to know when it's time to move on. So again, my life exercise for the week is to evaluate the relationships that you are in. If they're not growing you, they will destroy you. I love you guys. Thank you. You all are appreciated. I appreciate everyone who listens to my podcast, everyone who follows me on social media. I wish you guys a peaceful and prosperous week. See you next Sunday.
You've been testing my patience, 'cause I'm a damn good situation. Where you gon' go better than this? From the house to the cars to the keys, shit. Me and you supposed to be together, 'cause when it's good, ain't nothing better. If you gon' keep giving up, I'm gon' let you see they can never be me. But I fucking love you. Ain't gon' talk about it, you can get it however you want to. But I still feel some kind of way. Don't let them know you're all up on it. But I ain't gon' go. I be trying to keep it true and only right for you. Put you up on it. Tell me, do you want it? If you really want it, don't let them know you're all up on it. But I ain't gon' go. I be trying to keep it true and only right for you. Put you up on it. Tell me, do you want it? This morning, as we slept the night away, still in fiction, it happened. Now we can turn back the hands of time. Oh no, but I don't care. Who knows that I fucking love you. You can get it however you want to, but I still feel some kind of way. Don't let them know, but I ain't gon' go. I be tryna keep it true, only right for you. Put you baby, tell me, do you want it? Tell me, do you want it? Don't let them know, all up on it, but I ain't gon' go. I be tryna keep it true, only right for you. Put you on it, tell me, do you want it? Tell me, do you want it? Tryna give me what I need. I can go and find another, but you won't keep stressing me. Don't keep running back, just let it be. Let it be, let it be. Don't keep running back, just let it be. Oh, let it be. 'Cause I'ma make you wanna do something crazy. Let it be. All up on it, I ain't gon' go. I be tryna keep it true, only right for you. Put you up on it, tell me, do you want it? Tell me, do you want it, baby? All up on it, I ain't gon' go. Sure, only right for you. Put you up on it. Tell me, do you want it? I can go and find another, but you won't keep stressing me. Don't keep running back, just let it be. Let it be, let it be. Don't keep running back, just let it be. Oh, let it be. 'Cause I'ma make you wanna do something crazy. Let it be. Put you up on it, tell me, do you want it? Tell me, do you want it, baby? All up on it, I ain't gon' go. Don't make me sure, only right for you. Put you up on it, tell me, do you want it? Hey, baby, try to tell you something good for you, baby.
Alright guys, I had one more thing because I wanted to play that song. That song is a new song by Tiny that just came out. I love that song. That song is awesome and it is streaming on all platforms. So go ahead and check that out. Again, thank you. You guys are appreciated. I love you. Have a prosperous, purposeful, positive weekend. And if you're celebrating Cinco de Mayo, turn up the Mexican way. Have a great day.